Alright, this video is on Logic's debut album entitled Under Pressure. And what I'm going to talk about in this video is how it impacted my life, but not only how it impacted my life, but the whole experience that that I witnessed with this album being released. And not only that, but I'm going to talk about how Logic's never going to top Under Pressure, his debut album ever, and why it's his best album to this date. And the reason why I feel like Logic will never top Under Pressure is because Under Pressure he was hungry. He put everything he had in this album. He took his time. You know, um, like he was just so focused with making this album, and you could clearly tell that he was focused making this album. Every track, he was rapping, telling his story, you know, sharing his experiences growing up in Section 8 housing, his mom being on drugs, his dad being on drugs, his dad not being in his life. You know, he was talking on these issues, and you can tell that he put everything that he had in this album. And like, if you're a Logic fan, you would probably agree with me that this is his best album. It's not Everybody. It's not The Incredible True Story. It's Under Pressure. It's not even a debate. I mean, we could argue, but put Under Pressure against, Incredible True Story and Everybody, it doesn't really stack up. Incredible True Story was good, but it didn't have that same, that hunger. It didn't have that. Everybody was, I thought the album was alright, but that didn't really have, the hunger and all this other stuff that Under Pressure had. And how Under Pressure impacted my life is I remember, I was going through a lot, in high school, not being accepted by other people, you know, being insecure about myself, and all that other stuff growing up. I was a kid, and I remember, I felt all that pressure, not only in dealing with, social issues, but dealing with, me being able to graduate, passing, certain exams. I was going through a lot outside of that, which I don't really want to get into. But I remember after graduating high school, I was still experiencing that because the album released October 21st, 2014. I graduated July July 7th, around there, 2014. So I had just barely graduated, and I remember I was just waiting for this album. I was like, yo, like Logic needs to release this album already. Like, I really hope he doesn't Jay Electronica this shit. I hope he doesn't, detox this shit because I really want to hear it. I really want to hear what, how he's grown as an artist. I want to know what his story is. So I remember, I didn't have a Twitter at the time, and I remember, and I was just waiting, going on. There's this website called Digital Drip, and it updates you new music, and it updates you every time a new artist would drop a new single, new song. So I was consistently just refreshing that page, like, yo, Logic, man, like, are you gonna drop a single? Are you gonna do something? Like, give us something. And I remember he dropped the While You Wait EP, which was supposed to be EP, but he scrapped it and just made it as a song. And I remember, like, he was like, yeah, the album, I'm working on the album right now, but here's a little something to hold you guys while you guys wait. So I was like, okay, man, this song's gonna be dope. I can't wait. And then September came, and that's when he teased the release date. And this is when I just first had just made a Twitter account. This is when it was fresh. You know, I was new to Twitter, and I remember I turned my notifications on. So every time Logic would update something, it would pop up as my notification on my iPhone. So I remember he was like, "All right, this album is really special to me, but here's the artwork." And I remember seeing the artwork for the first time, and I was like, "Damn, this shit's gonna be fucking dope. Like, this shit's gonna be an instant classic. Like, damn, this shit's gonna be dope as fuck. Like, damn." And then he gave us the title name, and it was weird because it came out at a time where I was dealing with a lot of shit. And for him to title his debut album Under Pressure, I'm like, damn, like this shit has to be something I can relate to. Like the title name is there, like I had to hear a single off this album. I got to, and that's when he released Driving Miss Daisy, and I was like, like, is this a single? Is this a what is this? And then I remember him posting on his Twitter account that it's gonna be a bonus track on the deluxe version. So yeah, that's just something that's just something to throw out there to my fans. And yeah, but the album is coming, the album is finished, but you just have to wait. And I remember like, damn, I remember I was like, God, I gotta hear more from this album. I got to, man. Like I can't wait anymore. And then he released the song Under Pressure, and I was like, damn, like, it had that classic boom bap beat, and I was like, damn, this shit's gonna be on some fucking 90s boom bap, fucking Wu-Tang type shit. And Logic was just fucking, he just went the fuck off on that song, and I was like, yo, like, I cannot wait for this fucking album, like, really, I cannot wait. And then I remember he released Buried Alive. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard that song, I was like, yo, Logic, what the fuck is this? Like, I thought you were gonna be on that raw hip hop shit, like, and you hit us with this. I love that song now, but at that time, coming off the single Under Pressure, I'm like, because that set the bar high for me, that set the album high for me, and that made my expectations high. So when I heard Buried Alive, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't know, but I love the song now, but that's what I was thinking. That was my reaction. And I remember I had those two songs on repeat. After a while, on the Buried Alive grew on me. I'm like, okay, what, this shit is dope. This shit is dope as fuck. And I remember I was just consistently playing Driving Miss Daisy. I was playing Under Pressure, and I was playing Buried Alive. Those are the three songs I was playing, and I was waiting for the album to drop. And I remember, like, I was in class, and I got a notification. I was in class, and I just got a notification that not class, what the fuck, and I was at home, and I remember I got a notification that the release date was gonna come out, and it said October 21st. I'm like, god damn, like that's a month away, and that was like probably one of the longest months that I had to deal with like that shit for like a year. I couldn't take it anymore. And I'm not gonna lie, I downloaded the leak. I downloaded it. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't wait, and I remember the intro. Where the intro like it came in. I'm like, damn, this just like it gave me chills. I didn't want to talk to nobody when I was listening to the album. I remember I was sitting on in my living room couch, and I remember just listening to it, both headphones in, in the intro. I remember like, when he's talking about I just want to make these music lovers love again or some shit like that. And I was like, okay. And then Soul Food came in. Soul Food came in, and that sample, I was like, damn, like this shit is fucking dope. you know, and I was blown away. And then the second part, the beat switch up came in. I was like, damn, this is some raw hip hop shit. Like, damn, this shit's dope as fuck. And then I'm Gone came, and I was like, yo, like, I was blown away. I was like, damn, this shit is dope as fuck. I was afraid because I was waiting for a bad song to come. The gang related came in. I was like, damn, dude. And when the last part came in, when he was like, fuck, I don't know how to say it. Everybody knows the last part where he's just rapping the fuck off on gang related. And I was like, damn. Then Buried Alive came in. I just heard that song, but with the context of the album, it made me appreciate and love that song even more. Then Bounce came in, and I was like, when he said in listening to Project Pat and Dilla, I'm like, okay, yeah, man, that's dope, And then, fuck, and Never Enough. I think it was Never Enough or Growing Pains. It was one of those. I was like, this shit is dope. And then when it got to the end, I was like, damn, this shit. I thought it was like I thought it was. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was an instant classic album. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I thought it was an instant classic. I was over here hyping it up on Twitter. I was saying it was the album of the year. It was this. It was that. Nothing's gonna top it. But I was overreacting. I was fucking being. I was being, a little over exaggerating. I was over exaggerating a little bit, but the feeling that it gave me, you know, it really like changed my life, man. Like, I wouldn't say it changed my life, but when it came out, I thought it changed my life. I'm like, yo, this like, damn, like nothing's gonna top this ever. Like no album that comes out this year is gonna top it. I was like, there's no fucking way. This no anybody can drop something and it's not gonna top this album. But yeah, man, that's the impact that it had on me. Like it really helped me with a lot of shit during my life. And I listened to that album a lot in 2014. It wasn't my album of the year. It wasn't because the more and more I sat with it, the more and more I let it live. I was like, you know what, this album is dope, but it's not the album of the year for me. The album of the year was a toss up between Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's album entitled "In Pinata" or "Run the Jewels 2" or what other album came out that year? Um, I can't think of any other albums that came out that year. Um, fuck, my mind's blank. Oh, Quest and Searching Sylvan. That album was dope too. I was like, there's no like, Cause came out with his album. Cause and Effect. I thought that album was dope. What other album came out that year? Shit, man, I can't think of any. Like, my mind's blank right now. Yeah, but I remember when that album came out, I thought it was the best thing ever. But I still love the album, but yeah, man, like the impact that it had on my life, like, not I don't know why I keep saying my life. Fuck it, I would say my life. It didn't impact my life. It helped me, through little things in my life. But yeah, that's the reason why I feel like Logic will never top Under Pressure, just because the feeling that it gave me and the feeling that it gave his other fans, like, yeah, man, like. So just tell me what you guys thought about the album. What album do you think is Logic's best album? Not his mixtapes, but what do you think is Logic's best album to this date? And do you think he would ever top Under Pressure? Just comment your opinions down below in the video. And yeah, see you guys later. And peace.